affecting us right now, where you can see that the culture has changed. You know what I'm saying? Niggas say do it for the culture, but what is the culture? Is the culture just fuckery? Because 9 times out of 10, everything is a bunch of fuckery. You know?
It's weird times because, like, for me, I say for the culture, but I think when people hear me say it, they know that I really mean that shit, and I'm not, like, joking and just saying that you go out here and do some reckless shit just so you can be like, YOLO for the culture and do whatever fuck you want. Like, when I say for the culture, I really mean, like, you're inspiring the other people that represent your culture as well. So your culture can be the hip-hop culture. It can be young black people. It can be young black men. It can be men of color. It can be young people, period. Like, any of that. People who are struggling. So when I'm saying do something for the culture, like, you're furthering your culture. You're making sure people don't forget about that shit. And that's why, like I'm wearing this shirt right now that says never trust a big button and smile.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to forget Belle Biv DeVoe Poison. Like, that's a monumental song. Like, nigga, play that at the fucking barbecue and everybody's gonna jam. Like, I don't want people to forget that, like, at one point in time, Martin Lawrence was like a huge ass star, dog. Like, he was a huge star at one point in time. Like, I don't want people to forget the Wayans family is like really one of the first families of Hollywood. Big but they never say that about black families. Nope. They'll say that about some white people that have two kids. Like, they'll say it about like the Hiltons, and the Hiltons, when it comes to Hollywood and talent, they haven't done shit. I understand the father is a fucking billionaire and has done all this dope shit. Shout out. But when it comes to talent and actually creating dope shit, they haven't done anything like that. The Wayans have. Jamie Foxx, he did that shit. And I just don't want young people to not know who that is, because we get so mad at young people all the time for saying, how y'all don't know this? Why don't you know this? Well, nigga, we got to teach these young folk about this shit. And, like, I got friends all the time, these young people don't know shit. I'm like, well, what young people have you tried to put on to some 90s music or to just whatever it is, to put on to some movies from back in the day or whatever things that, like, the society was going through? Like, don't get mad at people for not knowing shit that they just don't know. Then it's different if I'm trying to teach you something and you just against it and like, nah, I don't care. That's different. That's different. But if you just don't, like, you probably don't know much about Louisville, Kentucky. So how can I get mad at you for not knowing anything about Louisville if you've never been there, you didn't spend a nice amount of time there, and I might be the first person you've actually met from Louisville? So why would I get mad that you don't know much about Louisville if you don't know anyone from Louisville? It's not. That's what annoys me a lot about today. Or people aren't original. They don't want to create their own shit anymore. Everybody just follows a wave of whatever gets popular. They follow that trend, and it annoys me. I mean, think about it. Look at when Straight Outta Compton came out. Everybody started making shirts straight out of Louisville, straight out of Tallahassee, straight out of Cali, straight out of Having an Attitude, straight out, like, just shit. I'm like, bruh, create something like that's just not cool anymore.
But here's the thing, though. With that being said, though, it has been said that everything that needs to be created is already created. It's just we need to find somebody to reinvent. That's one of the laws and powers that govern us, is the power to recreate. Most people don't know how to harness that power because they're so caught up in trying to copycat. You know what I'm saying? Like, why recreate something when a motherfucker already did it, and then I could just steal it, put my stamp on it, change a few lettering. You see it in music all the time. Motherfucker will take your song, change the tempo a little bit. Now it's a whole different song.
I think with that, where it's a difference, like when you see somebody like Kanye West, Just Blaze, they sample old school music, and I think that's for the culture.
Oh shit, my phone. Oh, for real, yeah.
But I think that's for the culture, sampling, because I remember growing up, and I wouldn't know a lot of old school music if it wasn't for Kanye and Just Blaze sampling music, because I learned a lot of old school music just from looking up. I would buy one of their CDs. I remember buying College Dropout. I had to be 16. I was probably a sophomore. Yeah. I think a sophomore in high school. And I remember going through, when you would buy the CD and going through the whole little like artwork and stuff, and you would see produced by samples this. I would go through all the samples, pull up the song that he sampled, and be like, oh, I didn't know this song, like, and look that shit up. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I think that's dope, and that's recreating something but making it your own. Like, you don't just take something and all they did was change the pitch of it. Mm-hmm. They took something old school, they changed the pitch, they chopped it up, they made a dope new song out of it, and that they wasn't lazy. I just have a problem with people who just see Straight Outta Compton comes out, then they get a shirt that says Straight Outta. So they didn't like recreate anything. They literally took 3 words, took 1 word out, and put their word in. They didn't put any creativity in that whatsoever. Kept the same font, like the same color. Like they literally kept everything the same.
Because they knew,
and they said, we made it our own. No, you didn't. Like you literally didn't make it your own. And that's just lazy. Shows no creativity. You can't think outside the box. You can't think for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying.
Because that's so old. That's so old. Straight Outta Compton, that's been stamped since the 80s.
Yeah, like, and it's something. It's literally its brand. Like, it's too powerful for you to try to recreate it and make it your own. That's one of those things that you just have to leave alone. You can't recreate that. You can't, like, it's like a movie that was made in the 80s, and then you want to like remake it.
That's just like trying to redo Don't Be a Menace.
Oh man, I don't see how. I don't think you can do that at all. No. There's no way.
You can't redo Dead Presidents. You can't redo motherfucking. You feel me?
Like you can't. Like I don't think you could redo Coming to America.
Hell no.
I don't know, low key, you might be able to do that, bro.
No, Eddie Murphy. Who gonna be better than Eddie Murphy, bro? That was lit.
But I think that's the thing. It's not trying to make it better. You trying to make it stand on its own for a new generation, though.
But how can they understand?
I mean, all those rich ass people that get paid to do that shit in Hollywood, they should be able to find a way to be able to remake Coming to America. As long as Eddie Murphy's got to be behind it. Like a couple of the people from the original one have to be behind it and have to help in like casting and stuff because.
But how would you do this? Where would this one start off at? See, that would be a thing.
It would be, it could be like this. So 2 things. So I would either say in one way it could be like Eddie Murphy's great grandson now or a son, whichever one is now here, and he grew up here though.
Yeah.
But he has to find a wife. But he wants to find a wife from back home where they're actually from. So it's like the opposite. It's him going back to Africa. So it's coming to Africa and him going home, getting to know his roots. Yeah. Like that would be fire though. If they did it like that.
Running into the difficulties of actually getting back to Africa.
Yeah, like they like now it's like he grew up in America and he grew up in a nice way in America. Like he had money and all that, and everybody loves him. Like he's popular around his crowd and stuff. He's a social media star.
And the kingdom might treat him as an outcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Yep. And they're like, nigga, we don't fuck with you. Like,
but you don't even speak native language.
And think about it. Like, you got women pulling up pictures of him kissing white women, and they're like, no, we don't fuck with you. You over there kissing Haley and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know how they talk.
Your father was nothing like this.
Yeah, and the whole movie, them comparing him to your father was nothing like this. The whole time.
Like, your father would be very disappointed in you if he knew that you.
And he's so tired of that shit.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy doesn't even show up in the movie until like the end. Towards the end, because they don't want it to be too much about Eddie and about you want it to be a new thing. So, bro, we might have just created a dope ass movie, bro. That movie be fire.
Coming to America.
Nah, it's going back to Africa or something like that, like going home or something.
You can tell there's a little touch of, this is the shit. This is the version 2. This is we didn't get. Yeah.
But they got to be careful and try not to copy too much off the first one because I think because I think that's what happened with Hangover 2, where they tried to have the same exact plot lines because they probably thought that's what we wanted to see, and fans don't really know what they want to see. We just know we want to see something unique, dope, and creative.
And different.
But they probably thought, they want to see this. So they followed all the same shit.
Black Panther was lit because they showed you something different.
Yeah, like, man, going to see
black people being powerful.
Yeah, like, you don't see that in Hollywood, bro.
Like, that shit was lit.
Dog, watching that movie made me feel like, and it's weird because I'm one of those people that's like, y'all chill out, it's a movie, I understand that there's significance to it, but calm down, it's just a movie. But watching that shit, I'm like, dog, this is powerful. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got like some goosebumps watching this shit. I'm like, dude,
it brings you back to like, this is how my people was before we got up.
Like, and then it makes me feel kind of bad. It makes me feel like, damn, I'm not doing enough. Like, I feel like I'm doing a lot, but I just feel like I'm not doing enough. And I remember that whole next week after seeing the movie, I'd be riding to work or going to the gym during my lunch and that. And I would see, and like, certain streets here, you just see black folk like especially near campus, it's like kind of shittier neighborhoods, and you just see older black people like my parents' age and older, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they just hanging out drinking, and they'll do that for like 6-7 hours a day. And I'm like, damn, there's got to be something that I could do to make sure that people from our generation doesn't end up like that.
Yeah, I got a couple friends
it's crazy.
I got a couple friends on people I went to high school with.
Yeah,
on the street,
but it's crazy that a movie would have me feeling like that. Then I'm like, for the whole next week, I was like, dog. And not I don't even want to see just the next week, because I feel like that's like been in me forever, but just seeing that movie made it even more powerful, because every once in a while this whole adulting shit and responsibility, you forget about this other shit because you just worried about like going to work, shit at work, paying bills, like I gotta be in shape, I gotta eat healthy, like just all that shit that comes with adulting, and you forget about this other stuff, and like where you feel like this is my calling, I'm supposed to be doing this job shit is just one of the other things that I do, but this is my real calling. And so seeing that, it's like, damn, I need to know about my ancestry. Like you want to know about like what's in your blood. Like, does my bloodline go back to some powerful ass king and queens? Yeah. Like what slave owners was trying to rape my ancestors? Yeah. Like it's all of that.
Level, like when how they treated them having vibranium. And when you see Africa today as having so many resources and so many different minerals, and to know that the diamond is not the most expensive jewel you can buy. It's a I think it's called tanzanite. Yeah, it's actually a very precious gem. It costs more than a diamond.
It's like the movie, we know it was fake, but it kind of had things that represent, because it showed that they didn't want to let that stuff out. Not because they didn't want to help other people, but because they know white people have a history of taking it and making it their own, colonizing. Which, shoot, that's what Elvis Presley did. He not saying that he did it, but the people around him in the media made it seem like Elvis Presley invented rock and roll.
No, he was taking stuff from black folks.
And he probably could have been. He probably was saying, "No, I didn't create this." Like he probably legit
was playing the part.
Yeah, but. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but like history has a way at forgetting things. So at that time, while he was alive, he could have been showing love to all the black artists that came before him. But history has a way that people that survive it have a way of like hiding certain things. So Elvis Presley could have been somebody that was woke and for the culture, to be honest. But we don't know, because these motherfuckers had shit. And so basically it's the same thing like in Black Panther. They colonized rock and roll. You see them trying to do that with hip hop. That's why I'm always so worried about hip hop, and I don't want people to forget that like hip hop isn't. I have no problem with Young Thug. That's one section of hip hop. Is his music I can't get with all the time. Yeah. But I don't want people to think that's what hip hop is. That it's just that. Don't forget that Nas and Jay-Z came out with some classic ass albums. And
Nas just dropped the album recently,
which I'm disappointed by.
Oh man,
I'm disappointed. And it was supposed to upload yesterday, and it didn't show up on Apple Music until like 12 last night.
Kanye did the production, from what I heard.
So. Yeah, he did. He did all the production, but the album's boring.
But you gotta think.
I'm disappointed,
Nas
dog.
Is how old?
It don't matter, because Nas's other shit, like his shit that came out in 2012, and he was already he was already an OG, and I fucks with it. Okay, that was dope back into this shit. I'm just disappointed. Maybe it might be one of those albums that I like it more and more. I'm gonna give it another chance. I'm gonna listen to it again. But maybe it's one of those albums that in 2 months, and I'm like, damn, this was better than I thought.
Yeah, so I saw this on Instagram. Vlad TV said that the album was kind of like lackadaisical, like he could have did more.
That's exactly, it felt like he was like, damn, all right, fine, I'll come in here and record this album.
And so with that being said, boom, look it up on Instagram, my nigga, pow. Because I'm not gonna speak on nobody else's artwork, because Elon SoCal, me, my persona, what up. I also rap, I freestyle, you know what I'm saying? So I understand when a motherfucker just, like, I've been in that state when it's like, I'm just gonna say some shit on this beat and y'all gonna like this shit. Fuck y'all. What?
I mean, you could there's a lot of people that fuck with the Nas album, because I was on Twitter and it's so many people saying, I saw people saying it's a classic. First of all, I hate when niggas call something a classic when it just released 3 hours ago.
A classic is something to me that's like Michael Jackson shit, 10 times platinum, diamond album.
Word up.
Shit been 100 million sold. Motherfucker